Eberechi Eze is out for 4, potentially 6 weeks. Kai. So the injury that he sustained against Leverkusen that kept him out of the Carabao Cup final is worse than expected. I thought he was just missing international break, but obviously reports has come out from Sami Mokbel, The Athletic, that Eze is set to be sidelined for at least a month with a calf injury. Further scans will be done to see the extent of the injury, but the initial prognosis is 4 weeks. And if you're looking at the games that he's going to miss, obviously international break covers 2 weeks. He's going to miss the Southampton game in the FA Cup. He's going to miss the Bournemouth game. I think the Sporting Lisbon home and away leg, potentially the City game away, and maybe the Newcastle and FA Cup semi-final. If we get there, might be the games he returns. It's concerning, man, and it's sad because Eze had just started to hit form, started to hit flow. The goal that he scored against Leverkusen, maybe that was the power that he slapped on it that just kind of destroyed his calf in it. But yeah, man, maybe the 2 weeks international break kind of helps, compress the time, but it's still difficult where we already have Marino out for the season. Ranieri's on loan at Marseille, did score on the weekend in their loss against Lille, but Damon's young, would love to play him there, but he's young. Obviously he still have the option of a Saka to use in that position, but still has to learn it. The Havertz Gokeres thing, I'll talk about it a bit later, but I'm not really convinced on it anymore. So it's concerning, man, and it's the running. As I said in my video this morning, this is the final lap, the final straight. This is where you need all guns blazing. You need everyone available that you can, and to lose players and someone like Eze who warms up in this period of the season is peak, man. I will talk solutions in a bit and what can be done, because that's all that can be talked about. But it's just unlucky. At the end of the day, Arsenal have managed the squad well enough this season, but obviously Odegaard's injury has been unlucky, so Eze has to play a lot of minutes. Maybe you could say that. But obviously there's rumours that Odegaard should be back potentially for that Southampton game. I don't know if that will be true or if he'll come for that game, but it's much needed and the timing is perfect, I guess. And to be honest with you, we need Odegaard, man. Let's call a spade a spade. Odegaard has his flaws. Doesn't pass the ball forward, or his first thought is not to pass the ball forward. Maybe he doesn't have the attacking or the striking of the ball like an Eze, quick feet in terms of the skill or the aggressiveness to kind of force that way in the central areas. But we needed an Odegaard against City, a player that would have dropped deep, been comfortable to get the ball, been comfortable to distort City's shape, be intelligent enough to pull into certain areas, overload, and maybe give us that option, demand the ball even if he's getting pressed. And we need that. I think Mikel said it one year that Odegaard is the identity of this team, and he is the system. And I'm not saying the team hasn't been playing well. The system means that it's the best system with Odegaard, but maybe we function a bit more smoother. Maybe players are a bit more comfortable given the way the movements are, because the captain's leading it and he's taking that onus and emphasis on the pitch. But also just a player that can play between the pockets as well. If you lose Eze and you don't have Odegaard, yeah, you have a Saka and Dama, but no, you're putting one more wild card. I think Odegaard's a known entity, both off the ball and on the ball. And he kind of walks in with, the final piece of the season for him to potentially, sign it off and end it off. I didn't think he was going to have his moments this season. But I think he has had moments this season, but have his moment to really lead Arsenal to the title, as the captain. But hopefully he does. I think he's been decent this season. I've criticised Odegaard. I'm a big fan of Odegaard for years, but I think I didn't like how he had played for the last season. Not passing the ball forward, lack of quality in terms of this attacking sense, and just emphasis as to take onus of the game, on the ball and affect the game. But I think this season, obviously, he's been shattered of injuries against West Ham, against Forest, against Leeds. Obviously, recently, I think after the Leeds game away that he got injured. But he's played well. I think the period that he played in those games before he got injured was good. I think the Olympiacos game, his cameo against Newcastle. I think also, was it the Brighton and the Villa games recently? He scored in the Brighton game, but his performances were good. It did kind of tether off towards the end before he got injured recently, but we definitely need him, man. In terms of the control, passing the ball, a bit more sharpness in how we play, dominating the ball. I'm not saying one player does that, but one player can influence, everyone's patterning. Because, as many won't be even drunk, or, and that we don't have to kind of see this Havertz and Gokeres too, because I think yeah, maybe that might work against teams that give you space and the ball, and maybe teams that are still going to dominate. But against big teams that are going to press up, teams that are going to be intelligent, like City pressed, they literally offered us nothing. No out ball, no dropping in deep. And I don't think that works, man. As you always know, I'd rather start Havertz, have Gyökeres off the bench to come on with more space. And if Odegaard comes in, maybe, as I said, you have more chemistry. You know, Trossard, your Martinelli, your Saka, your Odegaard, your Rice. If Ben White is in the team now, if Timbers, Knox, Saliba, Gabriel, like Raya is kind of the same team as 23-24. So there's a little core there. So that's what Arsenal have to do, man. But it's sad because, yeah, we spent all this money on the attack and we're still basically using the same options that we've been using over the years, which is very, very confusing. But I guess it kind of at this point in the season give that reliability. So I hope Eze recovers soon, can still come back. You know, he will be firing, but he's unlucky because he will come back. Maybe Odegaard starting, he might lose his starting position, but we will need Eze. So hopefully he can rest and come back and still affect the season. And he's not out for too long. Hopefully it's 4 weeks and not, you know, the 6 weeks, and maybe even comes back for that City game. But if Odegaard's back fit, I think it's perfect time, and hopefully there's no more knocks or niggles or reoccurrences of injuries that can come in and start to kind of get us flowing again. You know, get Saka ticking again. If that Ben White, Saka, Odegaard right hand side is there, that kind of increases Saka's game, and for the familiarity, if Havertz is there, you know, everything starts kind of flowing as it should, and maybe Zubimendi starts playing. Yeah, people don't like the Odegaard, Zubimendi, Rice midfield, but there might be a certain level of understanding and maturity that we need in these big games coming up that we were missing, especially in that big game on Sunday that we lost in the Carabao Cup final. So yeah, man, disappointing news, but what can we do, man? I guess it's probably the perfect time. It came into the international break, so it kind of knocks up a couple of weeks and there's no games that are getting affected, but hopefully he comes back soon. But hopefully Odegaard's ready to go, and then we still have that wild card of Diamond. I think obviously if Odegaard's not fully fit, I think we may see a lot more minutes, maybe see a lot more Saka in the 10, maybe see Trossard in the 10. I don't really want to see Havertz, Gyökeres use as much, or really Jesus using that position. So let's see what Mikel kind of mixes up. But hey, final part of the season we got to lock in, and these kind of things happen, so no excuses. But luckily, let's say if Captain Odegaard saves the day. Comment down below what you guys think about this as a news, what solutions you will do. Smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next video.